it's Sarah Rose with Avant Healthcare Professionals, and today we are celebrating Mission March by highlighting nurses who changed lives. As you can see, I'm joined by several amazing nurses who not only change lives every day at work, but who also decided to change their own life by moving to the USA. Let's get to know them. So Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where do you live now? And what kind of nurse are you?
Hi guys, my name is Daniel. I came from Brazil actually. I was born and raised in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Right now I'm living in Maine. I'm an ER nurse though.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
nice and thank you very much to being here with you. It's always very good to come back home though.
Of course. Yes, it's great to see you. For those out there watching, you may not know, Daniel was actually a nurse that I recruited years ago. So to be here face to face with him again, learning more about his story that he's been through over the last few years is amazing. Such a unique and special opportunity. So thanks for joining us today, Daniel. All right,
You're welcome.
Joanne.
Good morning, everybody. Again, I'm glad and I'm thankful to be here, to be invited here in the March mission. And I'm a registered nurse from the Philippines, and I'm here now in San Angelo, Texas, as a cath lab nurse.
Cath lab. Oh my goodness. Very cool. Okay. Thanks for joining us and thanks for sharing. Linus, why don't you go next? Where are you from? Where are you living? And what is your specialty?
Hi, everybody. My name is Linus. I am from Zimbabwe. Though I've stayed in Namibia, so many people might think that I come from Namibia. Yeah, but I'm in New Hampshire. I work in medical ICU.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. Thanks for sharing and being with us today. And Jeffrey, welcome.
Hi, thank you once again. It's good to be back with Avant. My name is Jeffrey, so you can call me Jeff. I've been here in the United States for probably fifth year now. So
Wow.
I am currently residing in Indiana.
Okay.
So I live in the Philippines before. It's my 16th year practicing as a nurse. I started with Avant. I think it was 2016 when I deployed in the US. I started in the OR, and then right now I'm working in the ER in one of the Avant's employers, and still working. Yeah.
Cool. So ER, very cool. Thanks for sharing. It is absolutely incredible to be joined by each of you today. And I'm excited to jump into some of the deeper questions that we have. So let's get started. Maybe Jeffrey, can you take us to the moment when you decided to become pursuing a USRN? When was that? What prompted you to pursue such a big and exciting goal?
So it all started when I was back in the Philippines. So it was year 2005 when I, graduated and passed my board over there. Of course, you will always, hear about US. They had like a great opportunity, bigger opportunity, besides from the salary, of course. And then, of course, there are a lot of opportunities when you are in the US. You get to be in one of the prestigious hospitals, and then you can, advance your education. And of course, during those times, you're eager, to go abroad and, explore more of your nursing skills and everything.
Okay, awesome. Linus, what was that like for you? When did you realize you wanted to move to the US and practice nursing?
So like I said earlier, I was staying in Namibia. So I was away from home for like 20 years.
Wow.
And my situation in Namibia was a bit unattainable in the sense that there were economic issues in Namibia. So as a foreigners, then we were compromised, considering that everybody always tried to put their people first. So I started looking at places where I could move. Considering my country's situation was not okay, and that's when I started weighing options as far as the UK and the United States, and looking at United States and everybody talking about the American dream. I thought it was most ideal for me to come to the US, though it looked like a very difficult thing, but I just took the challenge.
Okay, awesome. Daniel, how about you? Tell everyone about that moment when you decided to become a USRN. What did that look like?
I can remember right now crystal clear. Like I was working a lot in Brazil. Like I was working 7 days a
Wow.
week to try to provide to my family. I was concerned about my children's future. I was concerned about my own future, how to provide to my family. As an international nurse, I think we all struggle about like economic issues.
Right.
We always concerned about how can we match the situation where we can work in a position we love to work. I love to be a nurse. I don't see me do like nothing other than be a nurse.
Yeah.
Um, and like I was concerned about to achieve a place where I can work as a nurse and provide to my family. So I figured out this process to become a USRN, and I took that as opportunity to change my life and to change my family's life. So that's what motivated me to start this process, though.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And Joanne, how about you? When did you know you wanted to become a USRN? What was that like for you in the beginning?
Well, becoming a USRN is maybe it comes in a process. Honestly, it's my family's dream for me to be here in the US. So back when 2003, when I first took the CGFNS exam, actually I failed. So I thought that was the end of everything. And when I went to Middle East to, of course, work there as a nurse, it happened when accidentally one of my friends dialed my room number instead of dialing my other friend's room number because they were planning to apply online through Avant Healthcare coming here in the US. So it's maybe a blessing in disguise. and and then so I applied, and then luckily, yeah, Avant accepted my application, and then that's the start of a communication between me and Avant Healthcare. And eventually, I passed the NCLEX exam. So this is for me.
Yay.
So you know what? If something is for you, it's really for you, and no one can take it from you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So that's when my USRN journey started.
Yeah. And I think that's such a common theme. So many nurses do feel so frustrated after like an attempt of something big, like the IELTS or the TOEFL or CGFNS certificate and whatever it might be. Like that initial shock of not achieving it on the first try when you were already making, a big step forward towards something that was important, it can be really shocking to the system. And what I've noticed in Avant nurses is the ones that don't give up. I mean, of course, they achieve so much. It's just that initial period of like accepting the experience you just had and then still focusing on that goal and moving forward and deciding that you're not going to stop until you achieve it. So trust me, Joanne, I know you're not the only person that's had that experience. Many nurses I've talked to have gone through something similar. So thank you so much for sharing. So how has life changed for y'all since you've achieved your goal of becoming a USRN? What's different? Who wants to go first?
When I received that invitation to participate with you guys to the Mission March, for me it sounds like a Mission Mars, which is like matches the goal I set up when I started this process, because United States is like at that time when I started the process was too far away from my dream. That was my dream to come here to become as a nurse, but I thought that was impossible. It was like shooting Mars that time, and I didn't have enough confidence to start this process, and I was so upset about like my life back in Brazil. I was trying to change that, but my life changed in a point where right now I feel more confident. I achieved some things for my family. Like I have a financial stability right now. Not because I'm not telling that because like I think that money is everything, but for the time I achieved that financially, economic stabilization, I could take care of my family. I could have more time off for my kids. I could enjoy my life better. And like I'm having like such a great time right now with my family, take care of them. And that was my main goal, to work less and stay more with my family. And look at to the future and not be concerned that I can provide them what I think they needed. I think what they can succeed. Uh, Sorry for that.
You're good, Daniel. You're good.
I was just like going through a thinking process and I lost myself. I'm sorry for that. But
No.
when I started this process, I was very concerned about my kids' future,
Yeah.
and that was the main thing for me. When I came back here and I started to work as a USRN, and I feel that right now I can afford
Yeah.
them a better future.
Yeah.
Here in the United States, they have like a very good school system, and I'm so proud to see my kids doing great at the school. And I'm so proud of myself to be like present
Mm-hmm.
with them through this process.
Yeah.
And like I'm so grateful for this process. I'm so grateful to being here, and my life changed just to finish right now in some point where I feel happy with my family, and now I'm feeling like with them, like participating to their lives, and
Mm-hmm.
like that's all I needed. I was thinking about, so I have more time for them. That's all
Yeah.
I was wondering and wishing for.
That's huge. The things you mentioned, compensation or just, having financial stability, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're from. That is important to quality of life, to know that you have the financial stability that you seek, whether it's just for yourself or for your family. And so you having that, and you mentioning like quality time, to be present, to be available for your family and spend time with them, that is huge, Daniel. And I'm just, it's so exciting to hear your story and see how far you've come. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Linus, how about you? How has your life changed since achieving your goal?
So some of the things that Jeff was talking about are some of the main issues that will come up in my story. If we were to talk, I was talking about my situation in Namibia, that we could only have a working visa, which was to be renewed every 2 years.
Wow.
And with the situation that was there, they were already talking about you might not have a renewal, and you have a family, you have kids, you have your wife, to know exactly what was going to happen after that. So you can imagine the race that I was in, trying to make sure that I have to find somewhere to go and settle, and to finally get here and get that green card. I mean, it gave me some. I mean, you can breathe, you can really sleep after such an effort. That's why for myself, even I even forget about that long journey, because my journey took me almost 2 years to come here. So you can imagine it was worth the leg. Financial stability is another thing. Definitely, we were living paycheck to paycheck. You couldn't even save anything. Right now, I tell you, even my parents can feel that this was the right, because I can send money home. I can look after my kids. They are happy here, and they are in the best schools. They are doing well in school. So those are the kind of things. If you are a parent, if you have children, if you have even extended family, if everybody is feeling that right now you are doing something that is worth, they can talk about. These are the kind of things that makes you feel that at least I have achieved something. That's my story. It's more of job security financial stability, and the best that I can give for my family.
Yeah, those are huge things. That's literally life-changing. When we think about life-changing things, family always comes up, and that's huge to be able to have that peace of mind and to be able to provide more comfortably for your family. Wow, very important. Thank you so much for sharing. Joanne, how about you? How has your life changed?
Well, a lot of things has changed actually. If I compare my life before when I work, of course I work abroad in the Middle East, so I'm a single parent of two. So I need to leave my children back home to the Philippines with my parents, and I go home only once a year, and I will spend time with them a month for that year. So now I have my children with me. So we are together. I am a parent and a nurse 24/7.
Wow. You are very busy. I get it. I can imagine. Oh my gosh.
I'm really glad that they are with me.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel having a family of my own now. I live a life independently. You have your own home, you have your own car, you work, you pay your bills. And then at the same time, of course, sending money back home to my parents, and it's amazing. It's an amazing experience actually that your life has changed this way and come to this to reach this point that you are together with your children already.
That's huge. And, when I was a recruiter, I would talk to so many nurses from the Philippines in the Middle East, and they would talk about their experience of why they wanted to come to the US. And so many of them mentioned to be reunited with their family. They would have children back home, whether it was with a spouse or with grandparents. And they would always share how it would all be worth it just for them to be together. No matter what they had to go through, they were willing to do that. And so to be able to talk to you today and see that dream play out is just amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. All right, Jeff, what about you? What's different in your life now that you've achieved this goal?
So it's a lot, big changes for me because since 2005, I think we are quite one of the few nurses way back home in the Philippines that we waited for about 9.5 or 10 years before we got to the United States. Because we're probably, some of the nurses that been, gone with those, long process of period during that time. And then, yeah, I agree with all of them that, from our country, I used to work, I think I got 3 jobs during that time while waiting going to the United States. And
at the
then,
same time?
of course, at the same time. Yeah. That's why every time Avant always calls me, you have some, some of the works that Avant that have to give you, you're delayed with like maybe a 1 or day or 2 or a month of that one. So, it's pretty hard since you're working 3 jobs way back home. But when I got arrived here in the United States, of course, you get able to, of course, if you get like, working on, 3 shifts, which is better. And then you can also support your family financially way back home.
Yeah.
And then a lot of changes because, we got the opportunity to get into the schools here in the United States. I got the opportunity to advance my career, which is last year. I already graduated my family nurse practitioner, and then I passed the board last year also. So,
oh my gosh, congratulations! That's huge.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then here in Indiana, a lot of changes because I've got 3 friends that we've started from Avant, and then 3 of us were nurse practitioner right now, and we collaborate with each other. I think one of them, they transferred to Georgia, one of the Avant nurse that here still in Indiana. So we collaborate with each other. So so far we got 3 family nurse practitioner that I've known with the program, that I've been with them during the Avant time. So
that's amazing.
It's
Goodness
That's
gracious,
nice.
Congrats on that. And it's so cool to make those connections with other Avant nurses that have had the same journey or still walking the same journey with you, and to stay in touch with them. That's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about where you were initially placed. What was your Avant assignment? What state was that? Joanne, what was that for you? Was that Texas?
Yeah. So I started here in San Angelo, but actually I started with the different hospital where I am now. So they bought a hospital during pandemic. And now I'm working with big hospital here. So I stay here until now, and I converted actually.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm I'm happy to be with them because I feel the warmth when I join them in their cath lab, and I can see that all of them has this teamwork and they help each other. And that's what I like. I like a busy cath lab. With different procedures, with all patients. I don't like just hanging around waiting for patients. So I'm still here in San Angelo, and I love to be here because it's a quiet and peaceful place. When pandemic hit, we are the last, I think. It's a very quiet place here.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's nice. That's important. Everyone has different preferences. Some people want busy and city, but so many people just want somewhere where they feel safe, they feel at peace, they can connect with their community. So it sounds like you found that. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Daniel, what state was your Avant assignment in? And when you were placed there, were you initially excited? Like, how did you feel in the beginning?
No, without a doubt, I was not that excited. Like when Avant Healthcare choose Maine for me to come, I was very concerned. And like I came from Brazil, a busy place in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Who knows? Rio de Janeiro is a very busy place. And when I saw my assignment to come to like a very quiet area in the United States and cold area, I was very concerned. I could not understand at all at that time why should I go there to be a USRN. But I trust Avant Healthcare. And I believe in that trust. I came here to Maine, and I could not be so grateful to come over here because since I came back here, the community, the hospital embrace us. They've been supporting us, and that's a gorgeous area. As an international nurse, I had time to know more about their culture, to adapt to their culture, to know the place, and to support my family because like everything is like very close from my home. That gave me the uh, peacefulness to go to work without to be concerned about my family because we are in the very small, safe area in the States. So everything changed at the first month when I was here. I was like, okay, now I can understand why Avant Healthcare put me right here because right here I have more time to figure things out. And right now I just enjoy the outdoorsy like activities we have here. We went to like Rustic Park, which is very close from our home. We go there to hike. We go like at the ski station with my boys. My boys, they love the snow. We love to spend our time outside home playing together. And like all that I know through this process, like I've been reaching out from some nurses because like especially nurses from Brazil, because back there we all know, we just know like Florida, New York, California. If you ask a nurse, hey, where would you like to go when you go to the United States? Everybody will answer like Florida, New York, California. That's all we know back there.
Yes.
But United States is more than that. Than that, is bigger than that. And like just by trusting Avant Healthcare, Avant Healthcare has been in this business for more than 15 years. And one of things they aim for each nurses, and what I felt when I was like a Avant Healthcare employee is like they look for your success. They will never put you in a place where you cannot succeed over there. And I couldn't understand that right after when I got here. I got here like with that doubt that like, oh my gosh, I think that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna like here. But like right after everything started to make sense, like yeah, that makes sense. I know why I'm here. I know why I love this place. That's why I'm still here. I'm still living here with my family because like I really enjoy the area Avant Healthcare placed me, and I could not be that grateful enough from Avant Healthcare to introduce me on a place other than Florida, New York, and California.
Daniel, you've actually inspired others from Brazil. When I ask sometimes about where they want to be placed, in the US, I still get Florida a ton, but I've had quite a few Brazilian nurses say Maine. And I think that's due to you posting your amazing life on Instagram. They see you skiing, they see you out with your family having fun. Like, I've heard a few nurses from Brazil say Maine now. So you're starting a trend.
Because like it's all related. We as an international nurse, we came back here, everybody was discussing about economic stability and like to have more time with their family. And when you match those things to be economically stable and have more time for do things around with your family, and if you are in a small city, you have more time to take care of your family, to spend time with your family without to be concerned about like security, safety. You just like let your kids play at the street, like go ride your bicycles. I will be right here, like looking after you. So I'll be back. So it's a very safe area, and I love this area I'm in right now, though.
That's awesome. I'm glad you are living it up in Maine. That's great, Daniel. What about you, Linus? What state was your assignment in? How did you feel when you got there? And how do you feel now?
So my story was I just got an email. Then I Googled and I said, where is this place?
Looks like
so
me.
It was, I mean, the same thing that the other guy was saying is we don't know anything about this side when we are back home.
Sure.
The US we know is the TV US.
Of course.
The skyscrapers, all the bars in the city. Coming from a city, I said, no, this is not gonna work. But there was one thing, because initially I was registered in Texas. Then I was just saying, okay, maybe Texas will do, but the family was saying, no. We are from Namibia here. It's a desert. It's hot. We don't want to be there. We want to see the snow and everything else.
Wow.
So luckily, when I got this interview offer, and I said, okay, we'll see what happens. I mean, the interview itself, they were talking about, do you think you can manage here? We are in the woods and all this kind of thing. The snow can be this high and all those. I said, no, if people are staying there, I think I'll cope. I don't. Then I just took it that way. But when I arrived here, and I mean, the situation is completely different. The community here is so close that you forget about the city.
Wow.
I mean, you are. It's a very small population, especially the area that I stay here. I drive like 25 minutes to work, but maybe here the population might be in the maybe 1,000 or so or less.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can imagine they know everybody here. You go to the post office, they will be telling you, oh, we were there at this Christmas function. They know everybody. I mean, you don't lock even your car, nobody will steal anything.
Wow.
You drop your wallet, somebody's already on the community Facebook page and saying, we have somebody's wallet here. And you can imagine where I was coming from, the absolutely nothing like that can happen. I mean, it's gone.
It's gone. You won't see it again.
You don't even think about ever hearing anybody saying that I have your wallet.
Wow.
But this is the kind of thing. And my wife was, this is the kind of life that we want our kids to grow up in. The bad influence of the big cities. I'm sure, I mean, maybe I might move later, but the thing is, by that time we have adapted to the American way of life. Then you go in there knowing that exactly this is the area. But if I was to come into New York, I would want to be in the bars, in the downtown area, and all those kind of things. That was not going to work. I am sure that was going to be a terrible place. I'm still in New Hampshire. I converted to this hospital last month. So I am a few years old to this hospital, and I'm loving it. The hospital is the best in New Hampshire.
Wow.
One of the best in New England. So despite that, it's in the woods. We're in the jungle that you can't even get away, but it's one of the best. And it's a teaching hospital. The exposure that we get here you get the best out of the best here. And I'm loving it. And I see myself here for some time.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
And Jeff, what about you? What state was your assignment in? How did you feel when you got there? How are you feeling now?
So initially, when I interview with Avant during that time, of course, they have an employer to Texas, so you get excited, like, hey, they got Texas and everything. And then I think suddenly they have like a new employer here in Indiana. Why not give it a shot? And we got some interview with there. So I got an interview with the Health system, and then of course it was a little bit, you're a little bit scared because like the interview, I think I have like 7 or 8 panels on my interview during that time since it's a new employer. Yep. In the OR, you got 7 or 8 panels. Way back in the
Wow.
Philippines, they keep changing your interview. And then, of course, when I get arrived in the US, and then, hey, you're gonna be transitioned to Indiana, and then Indiana, we're in Indiana. Indiana is big also. And then why I'm transitioning to Indiana? Like, is this the right state that I've been assigned for? Because like, during that time, it's still winter time, so it's a little bit cold out there. And from the Philippines, you get like hot weather also. And
Mhm.
then here in Indiana, you get 4 seasons. It suddenly changed, in the morning, you get like sunny weather. In the afternoon, sometimes you get cold. And then later in the evening, you get snow sometimes. So like, oh, but it's nice to be here in Indiana. In the Parkview system, everybody is welcome you. And then what's very nicest here in Midwest Indiana, we're close to probably to Chicago. Around 2 hours, 3 hours, you can drive to Chicago.
Nice.
Another 3 hours, you can drive to Ohio.
Oh,
Another 4 hours, you can drive to along Detroit, Michigan, and then Kentucky about 5 to 6 hours drive here, and Cincinnati. So you're closer, and just the cold weather, but it just only probably 2 to 3 months, and then you're done with that one. So and then yeah, which is special also is during that time when I transitioned here in Indiana. This is the place where I met my wife here in Indiana. So yeah,
really? Oh
yes,
my
ma'am.
gosh. That's so
Yeah, and
exciting.
yeah. She also came from the Philippines, and then I think that was 2019. We went back home before the pandemic gets
Oh
in,
my
because the
gosh.
initial plan is we have to be, go back to the Philippines in 2020 to get married. But
Mhm.
we decided like, why not do it earlier? And then the next year it was COVID,
It was
so
oh,
yeah, so we got a chance to go back in the Philippines, which is nice. Yeah.
wow, yeah. So did y'all meet at the same facility?
No, they're
Somewhere
on the
else.
other
Okay.
facility, which is I think Avant has also an employer on that one.
Oh
So
my
Avant has like
gosh.
two facility here. Yeah,
Cool. Well, that's amazing. What a unique story. That's great to hear.
I know. Yeah.
Very nice. So let's see. Let's talk a little bit about accomplishments. Now, to be where you are today, you have accomplished many, many great things. What are some of the accomplishments that you're most proud of? It could be about in your personal life, it could be career, education, really whatever comes to mind. What are you most proud of for your journey? And feel free, whoever wants to go first, just go ahead and jump in.
Well, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go first.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Go on, Jeff.
Okay. So yeah, of course the first one is when I met my wife and get married.
Yeah,
And then, yep. And
that's a
then
big
the
one.
second one, yep. And then the second one is like while I'm with Avant during that time, that's around 2018, I get an accomplishment with I did a research regarding international nurses. And we showed about that this hospital in the US, they always need an international nurses with their
Hmm.
system because of the culture. embedded with it. And then we presented it locally in Fort Wayne. And then after a few months, they have decided that a regional conference. So we also have to present it in the regional conference in Fort Wayne. Yeah.
That's huge.
That's a good
So
one.
we get, yeah. And
That's-
then while doing that one around 2019, I went back to school. And then last year, of course, you know, I graduated with my family nurse practitioner here in Indiana. And then right now, we're just waiting for some calls with, you know, other offices to get in, you know, from the ER nurses transition to become a family nurse practitioner process. So maybe during that time, those are my accomplishments, you know, in time while with Avant, and then after, you know, Avant journey.
Those are huge. Oh my gosh. If I could even just have one of those accomplishments, I'd be so proud of myself. That's amazing. Great job. Who else? Linus, I think you were going to go next. Why don't you talk a little bit about yours?
Yeah, mine, maybe I'm still new here. So mine so far, I can say I certified as a critical care nurse last
Wow.
year. That's one thing that I'm proud of.
You should be. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other achievement, to tell you the truth, is just being able to look after my family with no worries, being able to support my family. It's the other achievement that I can put on there.
Absolutely. And I think another thing, maybe you're not mentioning that I think is huge, is you came to a place, as you described it, in the woods, right? And you managed to adapt and thrive there. Like that's to come from such a different culture and adapt to a culture here. And all of you have really done that in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
But just even that portion of the journey, like Daniel mentioned earlier, like, Maine, like that's so different than what I'm expecting. Like just to have an open mind and to be so adaptable that you could be placed somewhere that you don't know, or you might even have doubts about, as you said, going into it, and then to get there and to adapt and to thrive. Like that is absolutely incredible. So
It is.
great. Thank you so much for sharing. Who else wants to jump in?
Well, excuse me, Daniel. So I'll just tell about my accomplishments.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm glad that my children are here, and
Yes.
that's one best accomplishment that I have. And another one is, of course, financially, I was not that stable. So at least now I was able to pay them off.
Yeah.
And yeah, and at work, maybe since I was nominated as a Daisy awardee. And
Yay! Congrats!
That's nice.
Multiple times.
Congrats.
Multiple times. Oh my
Congratulations.
And then our team, our cath lab team, received a Daisy award also.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that's one huge thing in my career. But I think the accomplishment that I feel personally is like every day when you make your colleagues smile, your doctors, you know, because I work with cardiologists, especially your patients, that they feel comfortable with you. They're grateful that you give an impact to their lives that day. And I think that's one accomplishment that you can give to and you can share to everybody around you.
And that's what today is all about, right? Mission March, like changing lives. You each do that every single day. So no matter what type of accomplishment, every single day y'all go, when you go to work, you're taking care of patients and literally saving lives and changing lives just by your presence being there and the knowledge and expertise that you bring. So y'all have accomplishments every single day that you show up to work. You accomplish amazing miracles all the time. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you finished, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
ask.
Oh no, Joe. She said like, oh, and I, oh my gosh, she
Sorry.
needs something to say. So about myself, like, I have a lot of like things to share with you about accomplishments, but personally, I have to say to come here to become a USRN for me, that's the biggest one that I could share. You cannot imagine a person who came back from poverty, who was raised for a single mom, who was working a lot back in their home country, who was not like speaking English at all. Who knows me knows that when I started this process, I had to like rebuild myself. I came from Brazil. There is no English speaker back there, and it's very hard for you to find someone to speak English with you, to teach you. And by working a lot, it's very rare for you to make that happen.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest one, because I came back here. I trust in a company. I was supported by a very good recruiter who told me that I could make and I could be anything that I like aiming for, that I was like wishing for, to believe myself and keep practicing my English, keep studying, keep like pushing forward, that I would achieve my dream at that time. And here I am. I'm working in a hospital inside the United States. I'm with my family talking about material things. I have a car that I could not imagine to having back in my country. I can provide to my family, to my kids, some things uh, that I could not afford when I was in my home country. I'm working in one of the best hospitals inside in the world, who offer the best technology, the best professionals in the world, and I feel a better person to be inside this setup. The hospital I'm in right now, they've been pushing forward to give me opportunity to to grow inside the nursing department. Today, nowadays, I'm like ultrasound IV certified. I can play speak lines. They are pushing forward to like every day make me a better ER nurse. And mm, like
Yeah.
my craziest dreams, I never would place me in this place. And here I am. Like I know there's a bunch of nurses around the world. They are discouraged. They don't believe in. They don't trust themselves. They are seeing us discussing our USRN life, and they just cannot see them in this place that we are right now. But the only thing I have to say, you guys, believe in yourself, believe in your dreams. You can make your dream come true. That was my recruiter told me.
Yes.
You can make your dream come true,
Yes.
not just for you, but for your family. And that's my biggest accomplishment, to
Oh
come
my
here to the
gosh.
United States to be a USRN.
I should have brought some tissues. I did not prepare adequately for this session with you all like that. Oh my goodness. It is just absolutely, I can't even express how amazing it is to hear you share that and what everyone has shared, because it is so, I know it is a long journey for many nurses, and just like it takes y'all a long time to get here, the team that helped you along the way, we also are anticipating your arrival and excited to see how you adapt and all the things you accomplish. So it's a come full circle, especially being your recruiter, Daniel, and hearing the things you're sharing. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry, but okay, let me try and keep it together. But you kind of led into my next question. You gave some advice to follow your dreams and to not give up, for the people out there that are watching that can only dream of what you're experiencing right now. Not saying that what you're like, there's hard portions of the journey. There's hard portions even on assignment or once you're here, there's going to be challenges, but it all works out and it's all worth the effort that you put into it. And so your advice, it sounded like, was stay committed. If you have that dream in your heart, continue to pursue that and it will work out. What other advice, Joanne, maybe we'll start with you. What advice would you give to nurses that are maybe just starting their assignment here in the US, or nurses that are still back home, whether it's in the Philippines or maybe in the Middle East or anywhere, that have this dream, have this idea, but for them it feels like out of touch or it's scary to think about? What kind of advice would you share?
Never quit.
Never. Number one, never quit.
Never quit. I don't say it's easy, but it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a dream, chase it, because Nothing is impossible. Like me, just like what Daniel is saying, nothing is impossible. I can't imagine myself being here also, you know?
Yeah.
And there's struggles, challenges in between, but just keep holding on.
Yeah.
And your dream is for you, and just hang on to it. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't know how to say it, but it's actually it's about you. It's about you. Just work hard on it.
Yeah.
And let's say financially you can borrow money, just pay them after, because you have a goal. You have a goal to achieve. And like me, I failed my first exam, so there's another chance.
Yes.
There's another chance. And just it's free. It's free to dream. It's free to take another set of exam. And yeah, I think that's it. And don't be afraid, and just trust yourself, trust in the Lord. And also, as Daniel was saying, Avant Healthcare is here for us. I don't have money that time, and Avant Healthcare offered me to help me with my review, and they helped me process everything from Saudi Arabia. I took my exam actually in India, so they helped me. Yeah, they helped me go to India to take an exam for my NCLEX.
Yeah.
And also, everything follows. Avant Healthcare is here to help us, even from the transition to your place here here in Texas, wherever we go. Avant Healthcare is helping us with that. And as you finish your contract with them, they're always around you and support you. And they never leave you. Just like us, we already finished our contract in Avant, but they are here always. They chase us.
Yeah.
And we are a proud Avant.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Team Avant. Oh my goodness.
I'm
I
really
think
grateful to be a part of Avant Healthcare.
well, we're one team. We're the same. That's definitely something. Just as you're proud of being Avant, like we're proud of you. I'm proud to be Avant. Like I think that's something that Avant is very special. Whether you're a corporate employee that's not even a nurse, whether you're a nurse that's still in your home country and understanding us, like we're all one family. We're all connected, and we go through tough times together, and we celebrate the best times together. So definitely one family.
Sure.
Linus, how about you? What is your advice to the nurses out there who are towards the beginning of their journey, or maybe just got here?
So let me talk about those who are back wherever home is. If I tell you what I came across with the people when I started this process, people were talking about, no, it's too good to be true that they can help, an organization can help you with all these things. Then I said, I also doubted sometime. Then I have a brother who is in Indiana, and he had to say, okay, let me Google this Avant and see if it's genuine or. Then, people there, even when I was doing this NCLEX program, people were saying, no, man, this is too much. This is just too much work. But to tell you right now, I have two people who are in the program right now. After I arrived here, they was, oh, it's possible. It can be done.
Yes.
And one is about to write the NCLEX. The other one is almost finishing the NCLEX review program.
Wow.
But all these people working together, they never thought they were going to do this kind of things. Yeah. Coming from Southern Africa, there very few people come to the US. Most people go the shorter way, which is the UK. Because it's short. It takes them like in 6 months they're already there, and you pass your English and you pass that other computer test. You are already in the UK before you are even registered. Then you can see. But this process, the way it took, everybody was just saying it's not possible. But revelations is I did it, and everybody now is following. I have many people who are saying, give us the contacts. I have referred quite a number of them. Some might come through, but I know of two that are in the process right now. So it can be done, and they have seen that it can be done. You are the people who make it happen. Thank you very much, Avant.
Oh my gosh. And I think just keep taking that next step and you'll find yourself closer and closer to where you want to be. It can totally be overwhelming. And trust me, this is not the first time I've heard someone say that they felt it was too good to be true. In recruitment, I've heard that, on recruitment trips, on phones, like we've totally heard that many times, but it is true. Y'all are living proof of that. And there's thousands of other Avant nurses who can also share that testament. But when it comes to them, like as long as you just keep on moving forward, you're going to get there. You will soon be achieving what felt impossible months ago. So great advice.
You know what, Sarah? But they only started opening eyes and say, "Oh, this is possible." By the time I started going to, when I went to India for the NCLEX, they said, this is true. I mean, when
I'm
I was
on a
getting
plane
all
going to
those
India.
books,
This is getting real, right?
when I was getting all those books for NCLEX prep and stuff, they were saying, okay, maybe, but still there must be a catch somewhere. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
this is how it has been for me. And I say, I mean, I've already inspired some people who are already in the process, and I'm happy for that. And thanks to you, Avant.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you to you for changing their lives. That's something that else ties into it. You've changed lives of your family members. You've changed your own life. You've changed your patient's life. You've changed your community by being there. And now you're sharing the word with other people back home so they have the same opportunity. Yet another way of changing lives. And think of the generations that impacts if they have children. Like, there's just so many lives that you touch. It's so, so important to think about that and to appreciate that. So thank you very much for sharing. And Jeff, you are up next. What advice do you have to share?
So from these, young nurses that, they're dreaming about to go to the United States, my advice to them is, of course, number one is patience. Patience is a virtue. And then they always think smart. I always carry this one. Smart, which means for your S, is you should be specific. If you apply with Avant Healthcare, you should be specific, stick with Avant. When I say measurable, Avant has been for about more than 15 years in this business. So you have that measurable on that one. And then is it attainable? Of course, yes. They have the program for your NCLEX, for the reviewee, for the IELTS. So they always, help you to be in that position. Your R, we should be realistic. It is realistic because, from the time from your country and going to the United States, Avant has this cultural transition. They have their, transitional program. They will help you from the start up until you get acclimatized yourself to the, states where they're gonna place you, of course. And then the T, which is time bound. Avant will always be, have their time frame. They always get you on, they're on the spot. And lastly, with another T, which is, you should trust Avant when you apply.
Yes, that's
Trust yourself
awesome.
with Avant. So that's my a few things that you should get yourself and apply with Avant Healthcare.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
My own advice on this is one exercise that I usually do when I was planning to become a USRN. It was when I close my eyes and if I can see me doing something, if I can dream about it, yes, I can accomplish that. I can working on it to make that dream come true. And in Brazil, we usually use a phrase, something that I like a lot to think about it every day is impossible is a big word who small people use to discourage you to for you to not achieve your dream, to not achieve your goal. But if you think about the impossible, that you can achieve the impossible, you just go for it. But dreams like this to become a USRN, you cannot do that by yourself. You cannot do that alone. You need someone to be by your side, to hold your hand, to show you the right way, the right process to do all of this. And at the time that you stick to a company, looks like a company like Avant Healthcare, who we were discussing right now about Avant Healthcare helping you with the English exam, with any class, with the transitional process. When you stick to a company who has that experience, that expertise to support you along the way, you have like 99% of chances to make that dream come true.
Yes.
When I was researching about a company who bring me here to United States, you can see a bunch of companies and a lot of frustration surrounding that process, because there is always a gap. What
Mm-hmm.
I've been learning, what I've been learning through this process is Avant Healthcare is the best one to do this, to support you, due by their experience with this process. But Avant Healthcare does something that I haven't yet seen any company doing anytime. Avant Healthcare, they can show you they are bringing from a USRN here in the United States. They can show you stories of people who had accomplished that dream, have completed that contract, and they still succeeding here in the United States. Nobody does that. Nobody shows that you can be successful here in the States. And when I was employed to Avant Healthcare, all that I felt at that time is that they just don't aim to bring you to the United States. They aim all the time to be a successful person after the contract. And that struck me. That's amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, that cannot be true. It's too good to be true. Like, they are not just give me advice to be the best nurse for them during the contract. They want me to be a better person after the contract. I was like, what? What the heck? And now the advice that I have to give to the nurses who are still into Avant Healthcare contract, under their contract, is just chill, try to be the best version of yourselves, because you still have a huge company supporting you. Because when I finished my contract, I was happy. However, I was scared to death because I was feeling alone all by myself. The point where, gosh, what should I do right now? Because I don't have any more Avant Healthcare by my side to help me, to support me. How should I do up to now? And then I figured out that Avant Healthcare worked with me of the whole contract to make me a better person here in the United States. And now I feel more confident to walk all by myself. And that's why I'm keeping talking about Avant Healthcare over and over and over again, to show people that they are true and believe in this company. You can accomplish your dream through this company. This company is gonna give you support that you need to make your dream come true. And that's my advice.
That's so important. And it is true. If you don't give up on yourself, Avant will not give up on you. And Avant will walk with you, every step of the way through what can be a very challenging process. With licensure alone, a lot of people get frustrated with that. I see Linus going, oh no, yeah.
I have many people who have tried to do it on their own.
Yeah.
And they're always calling me to ask, how do you do this process? I tell you, I don't know anything about it. Avant did everything for me.
I said the same. And especially for me, I was a person who applied to Avant Healthcare, denied. And good, at that time, when I received a denial from Avant Healthcare, I could, okay, I'm gonna think about another company. But when I was researching, I was like, yeah, but I cannot see a successful experience from any other company. I'm gonna keep moving this way because my recruiter is giving me support. She showed me the way. I'm gonna trust them. Give me that trust, them that trust. And I working on. I needed to work to be worked at that time, and I came back to Avant Healthcare. They embraced me again. They offered me the contract. I was successful. I passed my any class for the first time. Can you imagine how can any class can be scare a scare situation to an international nurse when we research about it and we see a lot of like US nurses not passing on their first attempt. They're not passing any class and you I can barely speak in English. How can I pass this test for my first attempt?
Right.
Avant Healthcare, they understand you as an international nurse.
Yes.
That what makes them the best option for you who are not born, neither raised in the United States, that doesn't know how here works, because they're gonna give you the right support for you to overcome any situation and achieve your dream. That's I think that's the recipe of their success, because they know that what they're doing though.
It's
Can I
not
add something?
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to share, but so I passed my NCLEX exam in 2007. And imagine I arrived here in the US in 2019. So in that span of time, 12 years, so Avant didn't give me up.
Yeah.
So actually, they still offer me to work in other country because during that time there was a retrogression. They offered me to work in hospital and also in UK. So it's like Avant Healthcare is not only for US. They can help you work to deploy you to other countries also if you like. But during that time, I spent my time in the Middle East, gain some experience while waiting for US. And actually, I never thought that it's coming true. And I just realized that when you started contacting me about, hey, you're having an interview for your visa interview, you're having a panel interview for your employer, like this and like that. Oh my God, it's coming true. And I cried as I enter the international airport, saying that I'm not going to Middle East anymore. I'm going to United States of America.
Yay!
Yes.
That is awesome.
That's
Yeah,
the moment.
That was the best feeling in the world when I like got here and I stepped.
Yes.
I made my first step here and I was like, oh my gosh, that's my dream coming true. And that was like one of the best feelings I had like my whole life.
I could imagine, when I talk to nurses, sometimes like, okay, you just got here. What's been the best part of your experience? I'm thinking passing NCLEX or getting this. I always hear it's stepping off the plane, that first few steps, knowing what you've accomplished, taking the actual physical action of walking into your new life. Like, oh my gosh. So I can only imagine how powerful that is.
I was carrying this big box from the immigration at JF Kennedy, and you still, until that stamp is in your passport, you still think, no, you are not happy at all. And when you come to the counter and they say, okay, you have to go into that other office, and you are just sitting there holding this. Why are you having this? They say, no, I was told I'm supposed to bring this to you.
Yeah.
Because it was this, the computer paper box. It was full because it was for 4 people, my family as well. They didn't even open that thing. They said, we don't need it. Then I was sitting there and until that time that stamp is on the passport, and I said, oh yes, that's when I could even send a message to my wife that I am now in
I
the
did
US.
it. That
Yeah.
sigh of relief. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it was a feeling that you can never imagine, that you can ever have. I mean,
Sure.
you do the process, you think, yes, you are doing everything, until the very day that you enter the US, that's when you realize, okay, yes, now it is the dream come true.
Yeah, and just one thing very quick, Sarah.
Yeah.
Hands down, the transitional process, the transitional program to Avant Healthcare is one of the best. Like that transitional program made me feel so comfortable here because when I got here in the States, you were there to take me back to Avant Healthcare houses, and like that's a comfortable, very comfortable place to stay. And like during the program, you were there to hold my hand, to taking care of all the documents I needed to become like a resident here in the United States. You took you step up
Yes.
with me with the process of renting a house, buy my car, talking to my employee, to go to social security agency, to take a drive license, to know how to behave in like it's no places where like where I am right now. And that made me feel so comfortable because as an international person, that was my first international experience, and I had no family at all here in the States. And just by having you by my side at that time made like everything made like a more easy for me and my family. And just to say thank you for that program, because that like that's definitely a like an asset to international nurse to have that kind of support transitioning to their home country to a new country. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for that.
Of course. Thank you for sharing all about your journey, and to each of you for sharing about your journeys. They're all extremely powerful and moving in different ways. I've definitely heard some common themes, like financial stability and family, and just your own accomplishment for growth within your career and continued growth, knowledge, education. These have all been really, really special things that each of you have accomplished. And it's been amazing to hear them. I have one final thing I want to do. I want to do a lightning round of questions. So we're going to answer in order. We'll go with Joanne, Daniel, Linus, and then Jeffrey. And just in one sentence, super short, super fast, what your response would be for each question. The very first question is, what do you miss the most about your home country?
My
Joanne.
family and my food.
The family and the food. Okay, good answers. Good answers. Daniel.
Family, friends, and food.
Family, friends, and food. Okay, I see. We're trending here. Linus.
Family, friends, and food.
That's for sure.
Jeffrey, is it the same for you?
Yep, family, friends, food, and the weather.
Weather. Oh, yeah. Okay, I can understand those things. What about life in the US? What do you enjoy the most, Joanne?
Well, me is I'm a kind of person who appreciate everything. But the number one thing, it's being independent in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, the transition helped us to how to live here in the US, and it helped me a lot.
Great. So getting settled, adapting, thriving once you're settled here in the US. So great. What about you, Daniel?
For me, is the opportunities that the country gives me that I would never had in my own home country. So I will always be grateful for that.
Okay. Linus, what do you enjoy the most about life in the US?
Life in the US, besides growing professionally opportunities, I like exploring places. I've traveled the whole of New England, East Coast up to Florida. I've been driving up to down there and back. I love exploring, and I'm looking forward to move further inland and West Coast.
Okay. Very nice. What about you, Jeff? What do you enjoy the most about life in the US?
Of course, food, the travel, and then the growth opportunity that you can encounter here in the United States. Yeah.
So the next question, and some of y'all kind of tied into this, I'm curious about what your favorite location is or the best adventure that you've been on in the US. Linus, let's start with you because you already talked about travel, exploring, road trips. What's the best location you've seen in the US?
So the best location will be New York City.
Okay.
What I do usually when I'm driving is I switch off the GPS. I get lost in the city driving only. And that's how I explore Israel in the city. Once I'm stuck, then I switch it on. Then I know where I'm going back.
Right.
New York City, it stops.
It's one of a kind for sure. Okay. What about you, Jeff? What's your favorite adventure or place you visited in the US?
So I got two. First one is in Washington, D.C. You get to walk along of their parks and venues over there. The second one is when I have my second chance to go back to Avant when they have their anniversary during Christmas time that time. So I enjoy that.
I love it. What about you, Joanne?
Well, I can say Disney World. I have been to other places already, but I like the Disney World in Florida.
Yes.
I like the fireworks during the midnight, and I miss that.
Yeah.
I will visit there again.
Yes. If you do so, make sure to come and visit us at the corporate office in Orlando.
Right. We'll do that.
Awesome.
You never get enough of that place, right?
Yeah. Isn't it the most magical place on earth? Isn't that what they call it? It's magical for a reason. Definitely.
Not just for the kids.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Orlando. I've been to Disney over and over, and I don't get tired of going. So definitely a special and fun place to be. And Daniel,
for me, like 4 years ago, let's talk about it. 4 years ago, I never imagined myself here in the States at all. I was just seeing people, hey, that person went to New York, that person went to Disney World. And I was like, I just don't see me doing that. And when I got here, the first place I went was Disney World. That was just for the kids. That was not just for me. Actually, I'm lying. That was for me and the kids too. We enjoy our times there at the Disney World. And then right now in Maine, just to see me in a position that I'm like 2 hours from Canada. I went to Canada. That's so gorgeous back there.
Wow.
And I'm a few hours from New York. I went to Massachusetts. Our family plan is to go to New York, but just to be in that situation where you're able to make those like child dreams to come true easy, because like you just need to 2 hours you're at New York, 2 hours you're like you can go whatever here in the United States. That's like a big accomplishment, and like I'm so happy what the futures can bring. So maybe like we're gonna go back to Disney, that's for sure, but maybe we're gonna go for a trip in the United States with me and my family. So
yeah, that's one of the best things, whether it's a road trip or a short plane ticket. Like there is endless things here for exploration. Whether you're a foodie, you want to try different foods, you want a nature.
I tried lobster and I love it.
You did?
Maine has the best lobster in the world. So
oh my gosh, that's
come to Maine, try lobster.
Try the lobster. Advice from Daniel.
Try the lobster. Sure. That's my advice.
That is great. Wow. It has really been incredible to spend time with each of you to learn more about your stories. I really appreciate you being open and talking about your journey. I know it inspires me. I almost cried a few times throughout this. I know it inspires everyone out there watching. For those of you that are out there watching and you're thinking about becoming a USRN, we want you to make it your mission to make it happen. Go ahead and apply today so you can join the Avant family. And I just want to give a round of applause for our our amazing Avant nurses that are here today to share their journey. It's been amazing, and we're so, so proud of all that you've accomplished. And we know that many other amazing things are in your future for accomplishing. So keep up the great work, and we will see you all later. Bye-bye.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
everyone.
Bye. Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming.
Yes.